Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we take boring financial jargon and turn it into your company's next big secret or its biggest problem. Today we're diving into a very recent filing from A.A.R Corp. Now this isn't your typical quarterly report where we see the whole financial picture unfold, but it sheds light on some pretty interesting stuff happening right before a big industry conference. Stick around to see what A.A.R Corp is telling investors. Before we jump in, if you find value in breaking down these complex corporate documents, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button. And for a deeper dive with our community, join our Discord. It's linked in the description below. So, what is the big deal here? This is a Form 8K filing, which is basically a way for companies to announce major events that shareholders should know about, and they can't wait for their next regular report. Think of it as a company's immediate news bulletin to the public. A.A.R Corp is filing this to let everyone know about an investor presentation they shared on the 13th of November, 2025. This presentation was given in connection with their participation in the A.A.R Global Industrial Conference, happening the same day. Now, this filing itself doesn't contain the juicy financial numbers. That is all in Exhibit 99.1, which is the actual investor presentation. However, the filing tells us why they are presenting and what it is all about. It is essentially a heads up that they're talking about their business to investors at a significant industry event. Let's look at the company's registered securities. They have common stock, which is basically ownership in the company with a par value of $1. This stock is traded on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol AF. Interestingly, it also mentions Nice, Texas as a place where it is registered. This might seem a bit unusual, but it signifies that certain aspects or listings of their securities involve this exchange as well. It is like having your main store and a smaller, specialized outlet. The currency involved in their dealings, as you'd expect for a US-based company, is the US dollar. And when they're talking about quantities of their stock, they are referring to shares. This is standard for publicly traded companies. This section, Regulation FD Disclosure, is pretty important. Regulation FD, or Fair Disclosure, is a rule by the Securities and Exchange Commission that prevents companies from selectively disclosing important information to certain individuals, like analysts or big investors, before making it public. So when they file something like this, it means they are making sure that whatever they shared in that investor presentation is now available to everyone. So here is the main takeaway from this filing on the 13th of November 2025. A.A.R Corp put an investor presentation on their website. They did this before they went to the A.A.R Global Industrial Conference, which was held at the Ritz-Carlton in Chicago on that same day. This presentation is essentially their talking points, their message to the investment community about their company's performance, strategy, and future outlook. By filing it as an exhibit, they are making sure everyone has access to the same information. Now, Therese, a little bit of legalese here, but it's important. The filing states that the information being provided, including that investor presentation, is being furnished, not filed. This is a subtle but critical distinction. When something is furnished, it means it is being provided to the SEC but doesn't carry the same legal weight or liability as if it were formally filed. It is like saying, here is this information versus this information is officially part of our record and we are fully liable for every word. This protects the company somewhat from certain legal claims related to this specific disclosure, especially under Section 18 of the Exchange Act, which deals with misleading statements made in documents filed with the SEC. It also means this information won't automatically be considered part of their legally binding registration statements unless they explicitly say so elsewhere. The real meat of what A.A.R Corp is communicating to investors is in Exhibit 99.1, the investor presentation, since this 8K filing primarily serves as a notification that this presentation exists and where to find it on their website and attached to this filing. We don't get the financial tables or the detailed narrative here. This filing is the wrapper, not the gift itself. So, what can we surmise from this? A.A.R Corp is actively engaging with the investment world around November 2025. They're presenting at a significant conference, which means they likely have something positive or noteworthy to share. Companies don't typically present at major conferences unless they've got positive news, new strategies, or solid financial performance to highlight. This event is an opportunity for them to communicate their value proposition and perhaps to manage investor expectations or build excitement for future growth. Given that it's an investor presentation, we can assume it covers topics like their recent financial results, market position, growth strategies, and outlook for the future. And the signature at the end tells us who is officially signing off on this report for A.A.R Corp. It's Jessica A. who holds some pretty significant roles within the company: Senior Vice President, General Counsel, Chief Administrative Officer, and Secretary. This indicates that the legal and executive leadership are aware of and approving this disclosure. Looking at this filing, it is less about the nitty-gritty numbers right now and more about the company's proactive engagement with the financial community. A.A.R Corp is choosing to present their story at a major industry event, signaling confidence and a desire to communicate their strategic direction. The key takeaway here is that if you are an investor or interested in A.A.R Corp, the investor presentation itself, Exhibit 99.1, is where you'll find the detailed substance. This 8K is simply the official announcement and delivery mechanism. A company presenting at a conference like Baird's usually aims to reinforce their strengths and attract further investment. We'll be keeping an eye out for that presentation to get the full picture. What is your take on companies using investor days and conferences to communicate? Let us know in the comments below what you think. If this deep dive into regulatory filings was helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more. And don't forget to join our Discord community, the link is in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.